Tell us a little bit about some of the lessons learned. Andrew is seen as a major storm, although Irma, that was one of the biggest storms we saw, but Irma dwarfs Andrew, which was devastating. I mean, you could say the landscape of southern Florida was fundamentally changed by that. Homestead Air Force Base was a key facility, and after that, I mean, obviously it was the end of the Cold War, but I mean, that was a causal factor in its shutdown. Katrina, massive. What are some of the lessons learned from the big ones that change your approach? And what are, as you said, what are some of the small loop lessons you guys are learning along the way to make sure that you're making maybe different mistakes, but certainly not avoiding mistakes in general, but at least not making the same mistake?
So just a brief history. Andrew was a very large storm, and it created a lot of damage in its wake. It was the genesis of a non-National Guard process called the Emergency Management Assistance Compact that derived from that experience, and then the expansion of mutual aid agreements throughout the Southeast to support hurricanes. And it just got bigger and bigger to the tune that now I believe almost all, there may be one state that still hold out, I don't know off the top of my head, but almost all states participate in this Emergency Management Assistance Compact. And they share resources across the board, from National Guard capability to civil policing, firefighters, other response forces that states may need to share to plus up their ability to deal with things. Another major lesson that we learned is we are in this as a joint force from a military perspective. We sometime in the mid to late 2000s, we adopted a dual status command protocol, where a National Guard officer or an active component officer can be empowered legally to command federal troops and state active duty troops in support of the governor, so that there's a unity of effort of that military force as it's applied to the problem set, whatever that may be. And that process has matured over time from very deliberate events, deliberate security events, to crisis action events. And that has been in play and has been working very, very well in the current events. So on agreement with the governor and the president and the Secretary of Defense, we can now appoint a dual status commander to manage both federal and state troops. And so that process has matured significantly over time, just as the EMAC process has matured over time. And then, of course, I go back to our planning and preparation phase. That has matured significantly, not just because of the actual events that have occurred, but because of the exercises that we participate in with our partners to stress those plans to failure and identify those needs and fix those plans.